Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson here of World Alternative Media, and the Stupidity Award of the Week goes to Ashley Judd. I thought I'd be giving it to Meryl Streep, but I didn't want to give her yet another undeserved award. So I'm sticking to the insanity of Ashley Judd's recent white privilege post on Facebook and Twitter. Ashley Judd claims that emojis are racist and proves white privilege is still a massive issue. Never mind the wars or destruction of civil liberties. Never mind the fact that we are enslaved in debt because emojis. Here's her statement on Facebook, which is linked with the Women's March on Washington page. And before I start, how crazy would it be if we started a men's march on Washington? Just saying. Collectivism of any form is painting an entire group in the same light. Or when it comes to government, grouping everyone together by force because 51% wants 49% to bend over. Anyways, here's the post. Hashtag Women's March on Washington. My evening interaction with my white privilege is about emojis. They come white. White/yellowish is the default color. If you're other than white, you have to scroll to search for an emoji of color that most closely resembles your experience. First of all, no. The yellow emoji is meant to be generic and inclusive of all races. Also, nice grammar and spelling, lady. You're really philosophical, aren't you? She continues. A little thing, comma, perhaps. But what if emojis, comma, came, comma, standard issue, comma, in black? So we whites had to scroll to find a color that most accurately resembles us. Multiply that times the incalculable. Multiply that times the incalculable? What? And chill with the commas and spaces. Now, the reason emojis don't come standard issue in black is because they're not racist. They come in a generic race, you moron. If you hold down the yellow emoji, you have to scroll through to find the white emoji too. And what about Asians, Native Americans, East Indians, and etc.? Are you leaving them out? I'll unfortunately continue reading this shitpost. And that gives me a glimpse of what it may be like to be a person of dollar in a white-centric world. Everything set to the standard of whiteness, everything else a variation thereof. I still want to be called a non-person of color to designate my whiteness in contrast with person of color. It could help address the inherent flaw in whiteness as the default standard, the term people of color being obviously a contrast to white. A non-person of color has the added benefit of ... non. A negating word preceding talking about me and my race/ethnicity. Now, wouldn't that be helpful and good for a while? For me to experience what it may be like to have my personhood negated before a conversation even starts? Because isn't that what happens with and to people of color for so long? Personhood negated through language and a prism of other ways. Wow, so deep. Ugh, that was just awful. Now, clearly Ashley Judd does not know the meaning of racism, as she's acting as if she should feel guilty for being white. As if she hurt someone in her life of color. Well, maybe she did, but we haven't all collectively hurt black people. That's absurd. And here go diehard liberals once again attempting to segregate. Because that's really what this is in the end. It's her wanting to address ourselves as some form of negative connotation before we speak to people of color, which is really quite insulting to both parties involved. And then we're also setting ourselves apart from them, perpetuating the collectivist paradigm, as we often talk about here at WEM. What is with these ridiculous white guilt tools going to insane lengths to push for other forms of racism to replace the horrible racism of the past against blacks? I will not feel guilty for being born, and neither should blacks. Doesn't Ashley Judd have some shitty movie to work on or something? The fact that these SJW dumbasses are getting to the point where they find victimhood in emojis says a lot about their failed fight for politically correct censorship. This is why Donald Trump won. This is why the left is dying off, other than their policies being proven to not work for about 1,000 years time and time again. When will these little snowflake kitties learn? Even liberals are sick of this bullshit. This is the kind of crap that comes from people who haven't spent a second of their life researching into something of value, so they try to use their platform to sound smart by creating victimhood out of their aristocratic, snobby nonsense, and no one cares anymore. These SJWs are simply a very loud group of people that make up about 2% of the population. But the state and media caters to these people because they want these snowflakes cowering in their safe spaces to become a powerful entity as they are in several countries, because it benefits the control complex. A bunch of useless adult children that can't take care of themselves and depend on the state. Now, isn't that convenient? Thanks for watching, everyone. Check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated. And of course, check the link in the description and the comments for Anarchapulco, where you can save 10% on your tickets to Anarchapulco by typing in promo code WAM. That's WAM. So stay tuned. We've got a lot more coming your way. This is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.